Hello students, in this video I am going to start the exercise 13.3 and in that the first question is an urn contains 5 red and 5 black balls. Here is one of the urn which contains 5 red balls and 5 black balls, and the experiment is a ball is drawn at random and its color is noted and returned to the urn. Moreover, 2 additional balls of the same color drawn put in the urn and then a ball is drawn at random. So here from this urn he is going to draw 2 balls. In which way? So first he has to draw one of the ball from the urn and note down its colors and then return to the urn, and he has to add 2 more balls of the same color which is he drawn. Then he has to take the second ball from the urn, and we need to identify the probability that the second ball is red. So see here in this question he is taking 2 balls from the urn, so therefore the sample space is either both the drawn balls may be black or both are red balls, or first is black, second is red, or first is red, second is black. So in this question we need to identify the probability of the second ball is red. Therefore the required probability is equals to, therefore required probability is equals to, so here the second ball appears red in 2 cases, that is RR and BR. Therefore required probability is equals to probability of red ball and probability of red ball, or probability of black ball and probability of red ball. So now see here probability of the first red ball is 5 divided by 10, because total number of balls in the urn is 10. Out of 10, 5 in red color, into, see here the ball drawn in red color, therefore he has to add 2 more red color balls into the urn. Now the total number of balls in the urn is 12, and out of 12, 7 red balls, therefore probability of the second red ball is 7 divided by 12, plus probability of the first black ball is same thing, 5 divided by 10. Out of 10, totally 5 blacks, and now the drawn ball is in black color, so therefore he has to add 2 black color balls to the urn. So therefore probability of the second red ball is 5 divided by 12. 5 divided by 12. I hope all of you understanding. Now see here 5 ones are 5 twos are into 7 by 12 as it is, plus 5 ones are 5 twos are into 5 by 12 as it is. So which is equals to 1 into 7, 7 divided by 2 into 12, 24, plus 1 into 5, 5 divided by 2 into 12, 24. So therefore required probability is equals to 7 plus 5, 12, 12 divided by 24, which is equals to 12 ones are 12 twos. Therefore 1 by 2 is the probability of the second ball is red. I hope all of you understood this question. Now let's start the next question. And the next question is, so based on the Bayes theorem, see here, the question is a bag contains 4 red and 4 black balls, and another bag contains 2 red and 6 black balls. So here we have 2 bags, here we have 2 bags, and in that the first bag consists of 4 red and 4 black balls, 4 red and 4 black balls, and second bag consists, or another bag, second bag consists 2 red and 6 black balls, 2 red and 6 black balls, and he has to select one of the bag at random, and a ball is drawn from the bag which is found to be red. From these 2 bags he has to select one of the bag at random, and one ball is drawn from the selected bag and it is found to be a red ball, and we need to calculate the probability that the ball is drawn from the first bag. See here in this question we have 2 bags. First bag consists 4 red and 4 black balls, second bag consists 2 red and 6 black balls, and from these 2 bags first he has to select one of the bag at random, and then one ball is drawn from the selected bag. It is bound to be a red ball, and we need to calculate probability of that drawn ball from the first bag. See here, let us define the first event E1, since we need to identify the probability of the red ball from the first bag. Therefore here there exist totally 2 bags, it means we have 2 mutually exclusive events, and the first event E1 is, and the first event E1 is bag first, and E2 is bag 2. And in this question, the given event is drawn ball is red. So therefore, given event is A. So A event is drawn ball is in red color. And we need to calculate the probability of this red ball from the first bag. Therefore, probability of, so drawn ball is red and we need to calculate it from the first bag. Therefore, required probability is probability of E1 by A. And its formula is probability of E1 into probability of A by E1 divided by total probability of the event A is probability of E1 into probability of A by E1 plus probability of E2 into probability of A by E2. So now just substitute these values, probability of E1, probability of E2, probability of A by E1 and probability of A by E2 in the respective places. So that's why the value of the probability of E1 is equals to, probability of E1 is nothing but probability of the getting bag 1. Total number of bags is 2 and bag 1 is in 1. Therefore, probability of E1 is 1 by 2. And similarly, probability of E2 is also 1 by 2. And we need probability of A by E1. So probability of A by E1 is equals to probability of the drawn ball red from the first bag is total number of balls in the bag is 8, out of 8 4 red balls. So 4 by 8 is the probability of A by E1. And similarly probability of A by E2, probability of the red ball given that it is drawn from the second bag. So total number of balls is 8, out of 8 2 red balls. So 2 by 8 is the value of probability of A by E2. Now substitute these values in probability of E1 by A. Probability of E1 is 1 by 2 into probability of A by E1 is 4 by 8 divided by probability of A1 is 1 by 2 into probability of A by E1 is 4 by 8 plus probability of E2 is 1 by 2 into probability of A by E2 is 2 by 8. So now which is equals to 4 divided by 16 whole divided by 4 divided by 16 plus 2 divided by 16. So which is equals to 4 by 16 into ಕೆಳಗಡೆ LCM 16 ಆಗುತ್ತಾ. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 by 16 ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ 16 divided by 6. Now 16 get cancelled. Therefore required probability of E1 by A is equals to 4 by 6 which is equals to 2 2s are 2 3s. So therefore 2 by 3 is the required probability. I hope all of you understood. And this question is most important for 3 marks. So many times asked in your annual examination. Now let's start the next question. And the next question is, of the students in a college, it is known that 60% reside in hostel. So in a college, 60% of the students are staying in hostel and 40% are day scholars. 40% are day scholars means the students who are not staying in the hostel. They are localite students. They are localite students. And also he has given that previous year results reports that 30% of the students who reside in hostel attends A grade. So previous year results reports that 30% of the students who residing in hostel attends A grade and 20% of the day scholars attends A grade. 20% of the students who are day scholars attends A grade in their annual examination. So this is a given information. In a college, 60% of the students residing in hostel and 40% of the students are day scholars, and previous year results reports that 30% of the students who are residing in hostel attends A grade in their annual examination, and 20% of the students who are day scholars attends A grade in their annual examination. And the question is, at the end of the year, one student is chosen at random from the college, not from the hostel. From the college means in that college there exist hostel as well as day scholars. And from the college he has to choose one student and he has an A grade. He has an A grade. That chosen student's grade is A, and we need to calculate probability that the student is a hostelier. I hope all of you understood. What is the question here? In a college, totally 60% of the students are staying in hostel, 40% are day scholars. And previous here results reports that 30% of the students residing in hostel attends A grade and 20% of the students who are day scholars attends A grade in their annual examination. And from this college he has to choose one student at random, and the selected student grade is A grade. The selected student's grade is A grade, and we need to calculate what is the probability that the student is an hostelier. Hope all of you understood. So in this question, total two type of students, one is a day scholars and other one is a hostelier. So therefore here we have two mutually exclusive events. Therefore E1 is the event, E1 is the event, the chosen student is a hostelier, chosen student is a hostelier, and E2 is the event, the chosen student is a day scholar, chosen student is a day scholar. And given event A is, so A is the event, that is what the chosen student grade is A grade. So we can write it as a selected student grade is A, or A grade student, or what, A grade student. I hope all of you understood this. And here we need to calculate the probability. Here we need to calculate the probability. Probability of the A grade student. So given event is A. So A grade student from the hostel. So hostelier is event E1. Therefore probability of E1 by A is the required probability. And now see here, we need to calculate the value of probability of E1. Probability of E1 is nothing but selected student is a hostelier, and totally in hostel there exists 60% of the students. Therefore probability of E1 is 60 divided by 100, or which is equals to 6 by 10. Similarly probability of E2, students selecting from a day scholars. So totally 40% of the day scholar students. So therefore 40 divided by 100, which is equals to 4 by 10. And now we need the value of probability of A by E1. So A by E1 means probability of A grade student selected from hostel. So in hostel totally 30% of the students attends A grade. Therefore probability of A by E1 is 30 divided by 100, which is equals to 3 by 10, which is equals to 3 by 10. And similarly probability of A by E2, it is nothing but probability of A grade student in day scholars. So totally 20% of the students of which are day scholars attends A grade. So therefore probability of A by E2 is 20 by 100, which is equals to 2 by 10. And we know the formula for probability of E1 by A. The formula for probability of E1 by A is equals to probability of E1 into probability of A by E1 divides probability of E1 into probability of A by E1 plus probability of E2 into probability of A by E2. Now just substitute the respective values. Probability of E1 is 6 by 10. Probability of E1 is 6 divided by 10 into probability of A by E1 is 3 by 10 divided by same thing 6 by 10 into 3 by 10 plus probability of E2 is 4 by 10 into probability of A by E2 is 2 by 10. Now which is equals to 6 3 is 18 divided by 100 whole divided by 18 divided by 100 plus 8 divided by 100. So therefore which is equals to 18 divided by 100 into 18 plus 8 26. So 26 by 100 ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ 100 divided by 26. 100 get cancelled, which is equals to 2 9s are 18, 2 13s are 26. Therefore 9 by 13 is the required probability. I hope all of you understood this question. Now let's start the next question. And the next question is, in answering a question on a multiple choice test, a student either knows the answer or guess the answer. So one of the student writing a multiple choice test. As you know that a multiple choice question has 4 options. And the way of answering by a student to a multiple choice question is in 2 ways. The first way is by knowing the answer he answered, or the second way is by guessing he answered the question. and he has given that let 3 by 4 be the probability that he knows the answer. So probability of student knows the answer is 3 by 4 and 1 by 4 be the probability that he guesses. So probability of guessing the answer by the student is 1 by 4. And also he has given that assuming that a student who guesses at the answer will be correct with the probability 1 by 4. So here if a student answered by guessing, that answer may be correct or may not be correct. But the student who guesses at the answer, it will be correct with the probability 1 by 4. So probability of correct answer by guessing is 1 by 4. And also we need to calculate what is the probability that the student knows the answer given that he answered it correctly. See here in this question, he answered correctly, but we need to calculate the probability that he knows the answer. What is the probability of the student knows the answer given that he answered it correctly? So here he answering in two ways, either by guessing or by knowing, but we need to calculate the probability of correct answer by knows the answer. So here in this question student answering in two ways. First one is by knowing and second one is by guessing. So therefore in this question we have two mutually exclusive events. Therefore the first event E1 is student who knows the answer. Student or knows the answer. Student knows the answer. And the second event E2 is student guesses the answer. Student guesses the answer. Student guesses the answer. And here is one of the given event, that is A event. So A event is directly he has given that. Given he answered it correctly. So student answered correctly. Student answered correctly. And now we need to identify probability of this correct answer by knowing the answer. So knowing the answer is event even. So therefore required probability is, therefore required probability is probability of E1 by A, and which is equals to probability of E1 into probability of A by E1 divides probability of E1 into probability of A by E1 plus probability of E2 into probability of A by E2. Now see here, probability of the event E1 is, probability of the event E1 is, probability of the event E1 means probability of the student knows the answer. So here directly has given that 3 by 4 be the probability that he knows the answer. Therefore probability of E1 is 3 by 4. And probability of E2 is student guess the answer, and he has given that 1 by 4 be the probability that he guesses the answer. So probability of the guessing answer is 1 by 4. And we need probability of A by E1. So probability of A by E1. So probability of the correct answer, probability of the correct answer given that he knows the answer. So here this information is not given in the question. He has given that probability of the correct answer by guessing, that is 1 by 4. So that is nothing but probability of A by E2. So here probability of A by E2 means probability of student answered correctly given that he guessed the answer. So probability of the correct answer by guessing he has given in the question, that is what 1 by 4. So probability of A by E2 is 1 by 4. But probability of student answered correctly given that he knows the answer. This is a logic based answer. See here, probability of the correct answer, the student knows the answer. So when student knows the answer, it will not be incorrect. So 100% it is correct if he knows the answer. Therefore probability of A by E1 is 100%. It is nothing but 100 divided by 100, which is equals to 1. I hope all of you understood this one. Probability of A by E1 means probability of the student answered correctly given that he knows the answer. So this data is not given in the question because this is a logic based answer. Why? Because if a student knows the answer, that answer must be correct. Must be correct in the sense 100% the answer will be correct if he knows the answer. That's why probability of A by E1 is 100 by 100. So 100 get cancelled, answer is 1. Now substitute these respective values in this formula. Probability of E1 is 3 by 4 into probability of A by E1 is 1 divided by probability of E1 is 3 by 4 into 1 plus probability of E2 is 1 by 4 into probability of A by E2 is also 1 by 4. Now which is equals to 3 by 4 into 1, 3 by 4 divided by 3 by 4 plus 1 by 16. So therefore required answer is equals to, therefore required answer is equals to 3 by 4 divide by, here we can take LCM of 4 and 16 is 16, so here multiply by 4, here multiply by 1, 3 into 4 12 plus 1 into 1 1 divided by LCM is 16, so therefore 3 by 4 into ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ reverse ಆಗಿ 16 divided by 12 plus 1 is 13, so 4 ones are 4 fours are 16, so therefore final answer 3 fours are 12 divided by 13 is the required answer. I hope all of you understood this question.